KJM Will and Max on ESPN Radio. All guests on the Goodyear Hotline. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless as we go no huddle. All right. I was expecting production. Jameis Winston was injured in the second quarter of the Saints' win over the Bucs. Jameis' left leg, as you heard on SportsCenter just now, got pinned behind him as he hit the turf. Trainers and medical staff looked at him on the field before helping him limp slowly to the sidelines and to the medical tent. He was later assisted onto the cart, driven back to the locker room. Here's Saints head coach Sean Payton on the injury.
I think it's significant. He felt something, and he's on crutches right now. I don't want to say until I have a chance to talk with the doctors, but, it was something, when he got up and then had to go back down, you were a little concerned.
Oh, when you hear the head coach say the injury is significant. Key, what's your reaction to this? Where do the Saints go from here?
Well, I think they just keep marching on. I always felt like the Saints have a good football program because of the head coach, Sean Payton. He gets the most out of guys that people think he can't. And I look for him to possibly bring in another quarterback, maybe a guy like Cam Newton. I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Newton is on his way to New Orleans. I don't know anything, but this is a situation where you dial up a guy like Cam Newton. Familiarity is important. He was in the division his entire career. He played against the Saints. The Saints have some familiarity with him. He could be a guy that comes in there and gives them everything that they're capable of doing. Plus, they can do a lot of the same things to a degree that they would do with Taysom Hill in terms of putting him in the lineup. So I think this is a good opportunity, especially now that Cam is vaccinated, going to a situation with a team that is good right now. They are a good football team and only going to get better once Michael Thomas comes back in the fold.
I mean, first off, props to Trevor Siemian for actually getting them the win yesterday. And that defense is stout, like we've been saying for a long time. The Saints are the perfect fit for Cam. Not a good fit, the perfect fit. And this is why, if you're Cam, you wait for the right opportunity. Look, war of attrition happens every single year. Injuries come into play. Even with Taysom Hill going through his concussion protocol, like he just said, the familiarity, he steps in right away. This could be a huge pickup for the Saints and Cam Newton at the same time.
Totally agree with you guys about Cam Newton. Best available guy by far, right? So go grab him. But think about this win for the Saints. They keep just, this is like the Rocky movie where it's like, it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep coming forward. They just keep coming forward. That is a gutty team with a lot of heart. And let's see where this season goes. It's not going to be like just the Bucs running away with it, like it looked like in the beginning.
Yeah, I tried to warn people. I said the Saints are a team that can finish second or third in the conference and get one of those slots. But people looked at me and had their little slide comments. Christopher Canty, by the way.
But did anybody think that when Tom Brady got the ball back with 2.5 minutes that was game over again?
Yep.
No, I didn't think that. Not against the Saints. The Saints are too much of a veteran-led team. When you look at Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator on that side, he's been through it all. I wasn't worried about with the Saints. I was not worried about it. The Dallas Cowboys is a different situation. Veteran team like the Saints, they were not going to allow that to happen.
We need to stop huddling. Justin Fields looked impressive even though the Bears lost 33-22 to the Niners. He threw for 175 yards with a touchdown and an interception, also rushed for 103. An impressive TD. Here's Bears rookie on his performance.
I think we did pretty good. I think we did a good job on third down, and I think an area to improve is just scoring touchdowns in the red zone instead of kicking field goals. But I thought our offense did a great job of keeping the drives going and executing on third down. So I would say we did pretty good today.
All right, so Justin Fields didn't exactly sound disappointed in his team's performance, even though head coach Matt Nagy was not at the game following a positive COVID-19 test. Key, what was the big takeaway for you from Justin Fields' performance?
Well, it just looked like Justin Fields was out there playing his best football, whether it was in the air or running on the ground. He certainly felt comfortable. Whoever was dialing up the plays, whatever the situation was, he just felt like, okay, I can do this. He looked like an NFL quarterback. He looked like a guy that had all the athletic ability that we saw in high school at the University of Georgia, then at Ohio State, in some flashes early on in his young tenure in Chicago. That's what he looked like to me. I was excited to see him play. The kid completed 70% of his passes, the ill-advised interception. But look, 100 yards on the ground, and he also contributed in the air. Whenever you do that, Max, you get this type of performance. It wasn't his fault that they lost the football game. San Francisco was just a little bit better on that day.
Yeah, I agree with you on San Francisco being better, but man, when you see Matt Nagy at home and you see Justin Fields play that way, one would start to think, if you're practical, okay, this is how Justin Fields plays when Matt Nagy's not around.
I worked with you guys enough. I know what's coming next. Germ spreader. Here
Come
goes
on,
Key. Here goes Key.
I know you got Matt Nagy getting an extension, but just say you're starting to feel me a little bit more on Matt Nagy not being there next year.
I'll say it again to clear your mind, because clearly your mind is not clear.
Clearly
what
not.
I said
so many clears there.
is that Matt Nagy can get an extension at the end of the year if they do what they need to do with Justin Fields in winning games. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen based on the loss yesterday and what they have left on their schedule. But if they finish above 500 and Justin Fields continues to show growth, they will not be moving on from Matt Nagy.
I just want to remind people again, in the old days, Justin Fields would maybe get into a game or two this year. He'd really be a rookie, really, his first year. This is like a redshirt year back then for quarterbacks. Then he'd get his first real action next year, and then we start judging him the year after that. I think Fields is going to be a star quarterback, but I think he's a long way off from that, and we're going to see up and down, uneven performances for a while because he's a rookie quarterback. All of these guys are rookie quarterbacks.
All right, thank you for that great point. Back to Key and I's argument.
Justin
right now.
Herbert wants in a blue.
Wait, do you think they'll be 500 when it's all said and done? Next game up, Pittsburgh Steelers, Monday Night Football.
I think because of the 17-game schedule, I could see 8 and 9. But Key did open my eyes when he said compare Matt Nagy's record as a head coach to Shanahan. Matt Nagy is now 31-25 lifetime as a head coach in the regular season. That's a lot of football.
He doesn't get that victory, though. I don't think that victory goes on his record.
I'm glad Key opened your eyes.
I mean, that loss. I don't think the loss goes on his record.
You're right, Key.
Yeah,
31-24. That's a good point.
The loss doesn't go on his record. At least I don't think so.
No. It wouldn't go on it for me. I wouldn't count it. He wasn't there.
Loopholes.
Okay. Meanwhile, in New York, Jets fans had something to cheer about.
Hey.
Backup quarterback Mike White stepped in for the injured Zach Wilson and stunned the Bengals, who were flying high, throwing for 405 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 34-31 win. White joins Cam Newton as the only quarterback since 1950 to throw for 400 yards in their first career NFL start. Stats Incredible is brought to you by My Computer Career, training for a better life. Here is the Jets' backup on if he feels that he proved he can be a starter.
100% of that. I have an immense amount of faith in myself, and I think that I can go out there and execute the offense and move the offense. And today just was just an affirmation for it. But in my mind, I knew I was confident enough to be able to execute an offense.
All right, Key. Since we're doing a little germ spreading, we need a better word in a pandemic than germ spreading, a better phrase. But since we're doing that thing that you don't like, let me do it now and ask you: how concerned should Zach Wilson be about his starting job?
Not concerned at all. Zach Wilson's out on the sideline right now. And if I'm the New York Jets, I don't even think about playing Zach Wilson the rest of the season. I let him just sit on the sideline, let him learn from watching. I think in this situation, he's a number 2 overall pick. They're financially obligated to him. Money plays a big part in decision making, and I understand Mr. White is the flavor of the day. I understand the Jet fans are excited about their backup quarterback. I get it. He showed some stuff yesterday against the Cincinnati team that had been playing good, but Zach Wilson doesn't have to worry about his starting job, at least for now.
Breaking news, Mike White signs with ESPN. We signed another former Jets player. Mike White played his tail off. I give him a lot of credit. I don't think Zach Wilson has anything to worry about. But what does it say about the Bengals? Because last week, everybody was so high on the Bengals. Yeah, you
guys were.
Everybody was and I like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, I think, has a lot of talent. Still a young football team, though. It's okay for them to be young.
You know what? You know who the big winners are from yesterday's Jets win? The Titans are the big winners, because what this shows are, look, when we look at the Titans and the Bengals, at least I think people have the same sense of it, even if it's not being said. They're good. They're a little half step below the Bills, or if the Chiefs are firing on all cylinders, or if the Ravens are healthy. The sense is that they're very good AFC teams, but they're not quite at the tippy top. Whatever. The Jets beat good teams. They lose to everyone else, and they're able to beat the Titans and the Bengals.
Wow, we're rationalizing teams with Jets wins now. That's incredible.
I'm just saying that's the real strike against the Titans this year is the loss to the Jets, but they just showed they can upset a team like the Jets or the Bengals. I mean, I like the Titans or the Bengals. Doesn't do anything for you? No, I tried. A banged-up Baker Mayfield returned to the field this week to try to continue the momentum created by Case Keenum last week. Baker suffered from a torn labrum and shoulder fracture, but was cleared to play this week. The Browns quarterback ended up throwing for 225 yards and no touchdowns in a loss 15